Restaurant Consultants. And once again, today we're joined by the president and owner of Top Line Management, CafeFuel, Brian Devine. Brian, welcome. We're glad to have you, as always, be a part of this. And today, very, very happy to have David Kinchelow, who is our president of National Restaurant Consultants, who has been a absolute stalwart when it comes to putting together financial plans, forecasts, as well as business plans within our company. And he's developed many templates and great processes for our clients over these many years. And I'm going to ask Dave to share with us today the importance of the financial review of your business as you get to looking to reopen your dining room or restaurant, and what an executive summary should look like for you as you do the math and do the homework. So Dave, if you would please start carrying some things forward for our friends in the food service and hospitality industry. So thanks for being with us, Dave.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you. Yeah. One of the biggest things that's going to come up, a big question that's going to come up here over the next few weeks as you look to reopen, depending upon what state you're living in, is does it make sense to reopen the dining room, or how we should open? You should be open for lunch and dinner both. And the only way to really do that is to sit down and look at where you're at financially and the number of guests and the number of your average ticket size, everything before the COVID-19 happened, and where we anticipate being once we reopen. Now, since we're going to be reopening with social distancing, more likely, anywhere from 30 to 50% of our tables that we'd normally have, what truly is the impact of that on my revenue stream? We've talked in the past about how we should start looking hard at our menu, what we're going to have going forward, and what our anticipated ticket averages are going to be, and what kind of labor we're going to need to bring in to make sense of it all. One of the first video conferencing messages we had was on talking to your landlord about rent and what we can do there. Now it's all going to start coming into play, and you got to put the math to the whole thing to make sure it makes sense for you to move forward.
In some regards, it could mean that maybe the chase line or the break even or whatever cash flow break even could be as high as 70 or even 80% of your dining room. And it may mean that you're better off just staying doing the pivot point that you went to, looking at curbside or delivery. And is there tools that we have available for people to help do that math, Dave?
Yeah, Richard, we've taken our normal, 27-page financial pro forma that we've been using, and we've modified it to take into account the social distancing, menu redefinitions, labor models, and so forth, and be able to spin all that stuff forward to make sure that as we reopen more and more seats over the coming months, what does that really mean? When can we break even? And kind of gives you an idea of your upcoming cash flow, what you can expect. And, today, working through Richard and the contact on our website, will actually help do a lot of that stuff for free here over the next few weeks to help anyone who's interested. It's going to require that we have your financial statements pre-COVID-19, and then we can start working with you what you anticipate and just running it through the model so you can get a month-by-month cash flow breakdown.
And that month by month can absolutely look at the variables that you want to do. And of course, some of it is going to be guesstimates, of course, but we're willing and we're able to do that for clients and people who aren't clients and whoever we're reaching on this video to help you get these things started and to make sure that we help you set yourself up for success. So Dave, anything else on the financial or the executive summary piece that we need for setting that financial piece and getting that new business plan going?
Well, I mean, these financial models have been tried and true, and we've heard from many banks and many clients over the years that some of the best financial modeling they've ever seen. So, we're not going to shortchange you just because this is going to be a service we offer to you for free. We're going to sit down and give you our most accurate financial modeling that we can, and we'll give you our recommendations as to what you should do going forward.
Couldn't ask for a better piece here. And also, by the way, a little more credibility as far as Dave is concerned. He also happens to be a CPA, so we won't hold that against you, Dave. But it's great to have the resources that we have, the expertise of Dave Kinchelow with his background in finance and manufacturing. And of course, we thank you for being with us. I'm going to turn to Brian at this point. So Brian, you want to move in a direction on one of our helpful hints here on marketing, and we'll go from there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about something that happened just last week with Grubhub. I believe it happened either Thursday or Friday. And the reason I titled this "Keep Grubhub Out of Your Pocket" is because I have been the first one to just go ahead and say, look, if you don't offer delivery, but you have the ability for takeout, then Grubhub is actually a great opportunity. When I saw this, when they started to promote curbside through their app, that's when I said, no, you cannot do that. That is really a concern, because if you don't currently have a way to turn any of those new customers that would normally have come through you with a phone call to get the curbside, if they're not going through Grubhub, you just don't have any access. And that made me very uncomfortable. So, and I've talked to other marketing consultants in this space, and they were sort of negative on Grubhub and those companies from the beginning, whereas I was not. So let me be very, very clear. If Grubhub is a big part of your community and you are already utilizing Grubhub, do not turn on the curbside unless you absolutely have to, because you have control over that within the Grubhub app on your end. And please, by all means, take advantage of online ordering yourself. And if you have to use Grubhub and any of these services, you've got to put something in every single bag that goes out your door that is like a bounce back coupon, that is a sign up for our VIP club, something so that you're building your list and not Grubhub's list. And that's where I started to get nervous, where I'm like, okay, Grubhub is now taking those names and people that were willing to come to you, and they're now grabbing those. And I would really rather that they be your list, that they be your asset, and not someone else's. Did that cover everything, Richard? Do you have some questions about that?
Perfect. That's perfect. And I know we're running a little longer than normal, and we will be this week because we're going to be relating to what we need to do to reopen our dining rooms and reopen our restaurants. That's it for our helpful moment. This is number 30, believe it or not. And we thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Dave Kinchelow. Thank you, Brian Devine. That's it for now. So long. Thank you. Bye. Bye for now.
Bye now.